I started sharing with you yesterday a little bit of Harry Truman, and got so much positive feedback on it over at thomhartmann.com and in other venues. And it is so timely. It is like we are seeing an absolute repeat of the Congress of 1948 and that with these Republicans. And so I want to share a little more Harry Truman with you. And actually, I want to even expand it. I want to put this in a context. One of the things that we used to know as Americans, and we knew this literally from the George Washington administration. Alexander Hamilton wrote about it in his report on manufactures, if not explicitly, certainly implicitly. And it was used by virtually every administration from the George Washington administration until the Herbert Hoover administration, was the knowledge that there are cycles to capitalism, cycles to private business. It's referred to as the business cycle. There have been all these different, economists and pseudo-economists who've tried to come up with ways to predict the business cycle. The Kondracki wave and the Stinson wave, and there's a whole bunch of them. And when the stock market does this, then that's going to happen, or when this happens, that's going to whatever. People try to figure out, but everybody understands that there are these cycles that of boom and bust in our economy. Have been from day one. We were in a downturn in 1773 when the British passed the Tea Act to try to help out the British East India Company. It was the government of England trying to help out the biggest corporation in the world because we were in a down part of the business cycle. And that's how government has always reacted, is when the business cycle is down, government steps in and increases spending and supports private businesses in a whole variety of ways. And when the business and individuals as well, I mean, there are automatic stabilizers, in fact, that do this. Unemployment insurance is one of them. Food stamps is another one. So, when the business cycle's down, government spending goes up. It's supposed to. And the flip side of that is when the business cycle is up, when business is making money and employment is full and the times are good, that's when it's appropriate for government to actually scale back its spending and increase taxation. Because you can take a little money out of the economy, and the economy is not going to, be hurt by that, increased taxes. And you can scale back government spending because the slack will be picked up by the private economy. And when the private economy starts falling apart again in the next business cycle, then government steps in and fills it. And the first president to not do this in a big way was Herbert Hoover. Stock market crashed in 1929. Andrew Mellon was his Secretary of the Treasury. Andrew Mellon, a major bankster. And Andrew Mellon said, liquidate everything. Liquidate labor. Liquidate stocks. Liquidate banks. Liquidate it all. And Herbert Hoover just let it all fall apart. And for 3 years, Herbert Hoover, the Republican president, and the Republican Congress just let it all fall apart. And every year saying, if government just gets out of the way, the private economy will put it all back together. And we went from full employment to 10% unemployment to 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 to 35% unemployment by the time Franklin Roosevelt came into office, or thereabouts. So anyhow, this was such conventional wisdom that Harry Truman just kind of refers to it in passing. All Americans knew this. This is what's amazing to me, is this amnesia, this great forgetting, that Americans today don't realize this. We're in the trough of a business cycle right now. We're in the down part of a business cycle. Government should be borrowing and spending more. Paul Krugman is saying it. There's a whole bunch of Nobel Prize-winning economists out there who are saying it, but no Republican will get that. But anyhow, here's Harry. I just want to share with you Harry Truman. He's talking about taxes, but he just kind of this is just a throwaway line. During times of prosperity, this was after World War II. America was experiencing prosperity. And so he's like, let's cut, we can cut taxes on average working people, but, we should be raising taxes on the rich. And that ain't exactly what the Republicans in the House of Representatives did. So Harry Truman talking about this.
Now, everybody would like to have low taxes. But we must reduce the national debt in times of prosperity.
See?
And when tax relief can be given, it ought to go to those who need it most and not go to those who need it least, as this Republican rich man's tax bill did when they passed it over my veto on the third try.
There you go. Now, I want to share with you some of the other things that Harry Truman was saying in this speech, because he goes on and just the echo of history. And Obama's now starting to talk about the Republicans. He really needs to take a lesson from Harry Truman. Here's Harry Truman. This is 1948.
First one of these tax bills they sent me was so rotten that they couldn't even stomach it themselves. They finally did send one that was somewhat improved, but it still helps the rich and sticks the knife into the back of the poor. Now, the Republicans came here there a few weeks ago, and they wrote up a platform.
Oh, this is really interesting. The Republican
I
platform.
hope you've all read that platform. They adopted a platform, and that platform had a lot of promises and statements of what the Republican Party is for and what they would do if they were in power.
This is called calling them out.
They promised to do in that platform a lot of things I've been asking them to do and that they've refused to do when they had the power.
This is the old "you tell him, Harry." Just listen to this as he goes through the list.
The Republican platform cries about cruelly high prices. I have been trying to get them to do something about high prices ever since they met the first time.
This is Harry Truman running against the do-nothing Congress.
Now listen to this one. This one's equally as bad and as cynical. The Republican platform comes out for slum clearance and low rental housing. I've been trying to get them to pass that housing bill ever since they met the first time. And it's still resting in the Rules Committee, that bill is.
Just calling them out. Item after.
The Republican platform favors equality of educational opportunity and the promotion of education. I've been trying to get Congress to do something about that ever since they came there, and that bill is at rest in the House of Representatives.
It's like nothing changes.
The Republican platform urges extending and increasing Social Security benefits. Think of that. Increasing Social Security benefits, and yet when they had the opportunity, they took 750,000 people off the Social Security roll. I wonder if they think they can fool the people of the United States with such poppycock as that.
He's ad-libbing here, by the way. He had bullet points, and he had the Republican platform in front of him, and he ad-libbed much of this speech.
There's a long list of these promises in that Republican platform, and if it weren't so late, I'd tell you about all of them.
He was ready to.
I've discussed a number of these failures of the Republican 80th Congress, and every one of them is important. Two of them are of major concern to nearly every American family. The failure to do anything about high prices and the failure to do anything about housing.
There you go. And, and he goes on, just calling them out.